starting. Oh, this is Mr. Hornsby 3. This is the Mr. Hornsby 3 show. Back on YouTube, like I said Monday when I came back from my return on YouTube. But, anyway. So today I'm going to be talking about the death of WCW, or Who Killed WCW documentary that they showed on Vice. It was a 4-parter. Give my thoughts on it. Give my thoughts on all the people that were accused of killing it. Give my reasons why I feel like they killed it. And I'm going to start off with Eric Bischoff, and I'm going to end with the Turner execs. And then, if I have time at the end of the video, I'll announce some of the other upcoming videos coming up next week. But let's start off with who killed WCW and why Eric Bischoff killed WCW. Well, the thing with Eric Bischoff, the reason why he killed WCW is because when he was planning the NWO thing, he did not have no big plan. I don't even think he had a big plan how to end it. I don't think he had a big plan on anything but, you know, just having the faction do good for him for a while. So, the reason why Eric Bischoff killed WCW is because he didn't have a bigger plan in place for when the NWO angle ran its course. You know, not only that, all the bad booking decisions Bischoff made toward the end of 98, going into 99, all the way up until he was relieved of duty in, September of 99, August, whenever it was. I think it was like September. But not only that, you know, then you do the whole thing with the frickin' Wolfpack and the NWO Black and White, and you leave that open for quite a while. You have Hogan randomly disappear toward the end of 98. And I don't get why there was no big blow-off to the NWO. Like, why was there no blow-off by, you know, the two factions having a battle, and the winner has to disband, and the loser stays together. And then you probably could have turned the Wolfpack heel, and they could have been the new faction trying to take over WCW. And then you have Bill Goldberg run through them to get the WCW championship back. Not to mention all the freaking non-finishes on Nitro week after week after week after week. And then, the biggest mistake Eric Bischoff made was having, not the finger poke of doom, but having Hulk Hogan and Kevin Nash, which I talked about on my Facebook page recently, having Hulk Hogan and Kevin Nash's big match on TV unadvertised. Now, it was supposed to be Goldberg and Nash for the title, but then some shenanigans stuff went on, and then the finger poke of doom. Not only that, I think another reason why Eric Bischoff killed WCW is because he didn't pay enough attention to WWF to realize that the storyline they've been telling with Mankind all the way from Survivor Series up to that point where he won the WWF Championship from The Rock had been building slowly and slowly and slowly. And for you to have Tony Schiavone come out there and say what he said was a big mistake. And honestly, Hogan versus Nash should have been a big pay-per-view match, and it should have been the big blow-off to the NWO Wolfpack and the NWO Black and White storyline. Now, Bischoff has said time and time again that he figured, you know, maybe I would just have, you know, both factions have their own shows, like WCW have the Thunder Show and, you know, NWO have Nitro. But here's the thing. They didn't know they were getting Thunder until around the middle or end of 97, so you had to have had a different plan. And you probably, but Bischoff said he don't remember what his initial plan was for the NWO to end. You also got to talk about how he screwed up the Sting. You cannot go and not talk about Eric Bischoff killed WCW without talking about him blowing the Sting Hogan finish at Starrcade 97. Had you done that better, had things been better worked out, I'm not even going to talk about Bret Hart and all that. But had you done that better and everything, you probably would have still been beating WWF even when Stone Cold became WWF champion in the WWF, had you not done what you did at Starrcade 97 and really screwed the finish of that. Another problem with Bischoff was, despite what he says, he would listen to what Hogan had to say more than what, was best for business. He would listen to what was best for Hogan instead of what was best for business. And that really screwed up things for WCW at the time. So, all of those put together, that's the reason why Eric Bischoff killed WCW. Now let's get to Vince Russo, because everybody blames Vince Russo the most for the death of WCW. Now, Vince Russo, how he killed WCW was all the ideals he had. Some were good, some were bad, but no one really was there to, oversee and let him know what were bad ideals and what were good ideals. And let's not forget, he was only head of creative in WWF. It's not like he was a president running the show or anything at the time. So for him to get the job, him and Ed Ferrara to get the job as the powers that be at WCW, really screwed things up. All of Vince Russo's ideas, he had some good ideas, like the New Blood angle was a good idea. What wasn't a good idea was trying to portray the New Blood characters as heels and portraying themselves as heels, Sam and Bischoff, instead of portraying themselves as the faces. Now, they kicked out a lot of the New Blood guys that were going to be the baby faces, like Booker T and freaking Nash and Scott Steiner. But, another thing, too, with this whole New Blood angle, was Hulk Hogan working with Billy Kidman. Now, people's like, well, especially Eric Bischoff, well, Hogan put Kidman over. I think Kidman, beat him once or twice, and the rest of the time that feud happened, Hogan got the best of him and won it. So, yeah, he really put Kidman over. Kidman was right back in the same spot he was before he feuded with Hogan. After the New Blood angle was over. So, I guess, he put Kidman over really good. Really, really good. But let's talk about what he said on the documentary itself about how he made himself an authority figure on TV, and he's making all these ideals about, the New Blood and blah, 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 blah. But then he goes on in the Vice documentary. It says, they asked him why he made himself an on-air talent when he was the head honcho at WCW. He's like, and he said because he was better than 80% of the roster on the freaking thing. Another thing too is, why, he said he was 80% better than half the people on that roster. But yeah, you're sitting there preaching for these guys and that, and they're praising you, and then you're going to sit there and pretty much bury them on this documentary. Yeah. You were really looking out for the best interest of the company there. So, I don't know. It's just dumb that, Vince Russo said something like that. Another thing, too, is why not, and I want to go back to the Hulk Hogan thing. Why not have Hulk Hogan feud with Scott Steiner? Scott Steiner, would believe could beat Hulk Hogan. You wouldn't believe Billy Kidman could beat Hulk Hogan without help. Scott Steiner, you could believe, could beat Hulk Hogan without help. So, and they both had the gimmick of having the largest arms in the world. Why not have Hogan and Steiner feud in the New Blood angle instead of Hogan feuding with Kidman? Kidman could have feuded with someone like, I don't know, frickin' Ric Flair or someone else. Sting, somebody like that he would be believable that he could beat. But for him to feud with Hulk Hogan, when they could have had Scott Steiner and Hulk Hogan feud, would have made more sense to me than Kidman and Hogan, because that would have pushed Scott Steiner over the level to where he'd become world champion sooner than what he did in WCW. He still became champion in 2000, but it was at the end of 2000. And he held the belt all the way till the final Nitro of 2001. So why not put Hogan in a feud with Scott Steiner or something like that? That would have made more sense than Hogan. Now I know it was because of something Hogan said about Kidman on frickin' a interview or some crap like that, but I would have rather seen that than frickin', you know, I'd rather see Hogan Steiner than frickin' Steiner. I mean, instead of Hogan and frickin' Kidman. Alright. Let's get to Hulk Hogan, how he killed WCW. I'll talk about all the other stuff here in a minute, like putting the belt on David Arquette, which was a stupid idea. Although Russo thought it would get him good publicity, when it really didn't. It got him bad publicity. Making Jeff Jarrett WCW champion, I didn't think was a good idea either. But then when I think about the history of the WCW title compared to the WWF title, it's about who's the best worker, who's the bigger, you know, who can outwork the other guys and all that. And, you know, Jeff Jarrett kind of fit that mold. And he had just come off of being on WWF TV for quite a while and made a big gimmick change there and really got himself over as a heel. And he's still doing the shtick he was doing in late WCW. In current wrestlings, he did it at TNA and he's doing it in AEW right now. Well, except for in this Owen Hart tournament where he freaking got beat by Hangman Page. And, you know, went into, he was kind of the face in that one, so, yeah. Outside that, he usually does some of the same stuff he was doing in late WCW. Alright, now let's get to how Hulk Hogan, Kevin Nash killed WCW. And I'm just singling out Hulk Hogan and Kevin Nash, because those are the two that were the biggest problems in WCW toward the end of WCW. Hulk Hogan using all of his using his creative control to pull stuff like, you know, not putting over Sting in the frickin' Starrcade main event, not wanting to fight Bret Hart, not trying to put over too many people. Yeah, he put over Goldberg, but, you know, but not putting over too many people. He did put over DDP a little bit, too, and his feud with DDP throughout 98. But every time it came to the championship, Hogan always uses creative control so that he would walk out still WCW heavyweight champion. Which really screwed up things, especially when he pulled. And I'm starting to believe, because, you know, at first I believed Bischoff when they talked about Starrcade 97 and his 83-week podcast and all that stuff about, well, maybe Sting wasn't in a good place and all that. I mean, he did look like he wasn't in a good place, but Sting has said at that time, I don't think I was in a bad place and all that stuff. I really am believing that Hulk Hogan just, you know, stroked his Fu Manchu and said, that don't work for me, brother. That don't work for me, brother. Alright, yeah, so Hogan always using his creative control, especially with the Jeff Jarrett situation and Bash at the Beach 2000, which that was a whole mess. Yeah, at least the right outcome happened at the end of the night. Jeff Jarrett lost the belt to Booker T, and after that we didn't see Jeff Jarrett as world champion ever again, thank God. Even though I say, yeah, it made more sense for him to be the top WCW champion for the New Blood. Although they had Shane Douglas in this faction who could have also carried it. You know, you had Scott Steiner who could have also carried it. But they went with Jeff Jarrett. But, you know, because, you know, Vince Russo was buddies with Jarrett. Jarrett just came from WWF, so of course he became the WCW World Heavyweight Champion. Alright, now, why did Kevin Nash go there? Because all he cared about was the freaking money in WCW. All he cared about, he didn't care about making the company better. Maybe when he first came there, that was his idea to try to help the company be better and all that than WWF. But, you know, also you made him a head booker as well, which was another brilliant move by Eric Bischoff. But, you know, but yeah, he critiques Tony Khan all the time for his bad booking decisions. But look at all the stupid stuff he's done. Anyway. Kevin Nash, I think toward the end of the run, he just didn't give a crap. And not only that, the match with Hogan and Nash at Road Wild 99 should have been Nash going over. I've said that time and time again. We didn't even get Hogan getting revenge on Diamond Dallas Page for Diamond Dallas Page injuring his leg in the beginning of the year. Instead, Hogan went right back to the world title picture and frickin' just surpassed the whole DDP thing. Didn't even care about the feud. But, you know, that's another problem with creative control. So, yeah. That's my thoughts on... yeah, toward the end, I don't think Kevin Nash gave a crap about WCW anymore. He just cared about collecting his paycheck, doing the minimal, and going home. That's all he cared about. Now for the final people that killed WCW. The Warner execs. The Time Warner execs never wanted wrestling outside of Ted Turner. And the fact that they kept plotting against WCW just to frickin' make them look so bad so they can get them off their TVs. And you know what? I believe Bischoff and all them, you know, in a video where I just said I think Bischoff was full of crap about the Starrcade 97 thing. When they talked about it on 83 Weeks. But, you know, I believe the conspiracy was true. I think Brad Siegel and the other guy they were naming conspired with Vince McMahon to buy WCW for dirt cheap so they could get it off their network. And you know what? That really made them suffer because guess what? Nobody wanted to watch any other crap that TNT, TBS, and all that put on their networks at the time they got rid of WCW. I didn't watch TNT again until they were going to bring AEW on their networks. That's when I started watching TNT again. But they were all about, oh, we're going to do this thing where we know drama. It's going to be great. Blah, 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 blah. Guess what? It didn't work out too well because, you know, the ratings that WCW brought in, I bet they didn't get half those ratings for those new shows. And then they're bringing shows on that are freaking either almost canceled or canceled. Like what? Charmed, which was a show my mom liked. And a couple other freaking shows they brought in. And some other freaking drama shows they brought in that nobody cared about. If wrestling wasn't on your network, then people weren't going to come to it. More people come to your network probably now than they were before you put AEW on there. Despite Tony Khan's bad booking decisions and sometimes the product being bad itself sometimes. But, you know, that's how it goes in the world of business, I guess. I don't know. But I'll be honest with you. All those mixed together, all those ingredients, that's what killed WCW. I'll tell you what would have saved WCW. If you would have made Alex Wright the WCW champion, that would have saved WCW. Yeah, I'm being silly on that one, but yeah, if you would have made Alex Wright the WCW champion, that would have saved it. The ratings would have went up. But anyway, yeah, that's my thoughts on the people who killed WCW. But I think the people that are most guilty for it are the Warner execs. Yeah, Bischoff had his mistakes, but he also came up with the NWO angle, which kicked the crap out of WWF for 83 weeks until Vince McMahon said, oh yeah, hey, I got Stone Cold Steve Austin, I got Triple H, I got The Rock, I got, you know, guys that could be D-Generation X, and that'll kill WCW, which it did. It killed WCW's momentum. Even when WCW was still good in 98, WWF was still outshining them. So, but like I said, the last real good year WCW had was 98. 99 sucked. 2000 sucked. 2001 was okay. But, yeah, the frickin' those years sucked for WCW. And when you're making guys like Jeff Jarrett the champion and frickin', that's what really killed WCW, making Jeff Jarrett the champion. And that was before David Arquette. No. But anyway, yeah. So, yeah. My thoughts is I think the most ones to blame is the Warner execs. And I believe they conspired with Vince McMahon so Vince McMahon could buy WCW for dirt cheap. And they've got a pretty good payoff for Vince McMahon afterwards. after he bought the company for dirt cheap, he paid him off or somehow. Because we all know the stories about Vince McMahon, especially now with all that came out the past couple years. And a lot of the Dark Side of the Ring episodes that they've been showing on Vice. But I'll be honest with you. I was really sad when WCW went away, even though I was one of the ones that kind of turned on WCW when they got in those bad years. But, you know, and I was watching WWF more. But it is good to see healthy competition. That's why I was so glad when AEW was coming back to, when AEW was coming to TBS and TNT and all that stuff, because that gives a good, and look at WWE now. They've seen the error of their ways. They've ran Vince McMahon out. A lot of it's got to do with the scandals. And WWE is better now. You think if AEW goes away or goes off of TBS and Time Warner, if they go off of Warner Discovery Channel, you think WWE's going to continue doing the good stuff they're doing? I don't think so. Because you're putting Raw on Netflix, so they're probably not going to care about making a good show. People still going to watch it no matter what. SmackDown's going to USA. Yeah, they might still work and make SmackDown good. But, you know. So I was sad when WCW went away. And I wouldn't watch nothing on TBS or Turner or TNT or anything that until they brought AEW in. Now I watch AEW weekly. There's sometimes I wish I wouldn't watch AEW, but I'm trying to help it survive because a healthy number 2 is a good thing. And the only way they stay healthy and be a healthy number 2 is if they stay on the Warner Discovery channels. So, yeah. That's my thoughts on who killed WCW. I mainly blame the freaking Warner execs the most because they definitely conspired with Vince McMahon. They definitely did. So that they could get WCW off of their freaking network. But, you know, which is kind of shady and kind of corrupt of them to do that. But that's how it works in business sometimes. Anyway, before I go, next week I'm going to have a Toy Talk Monday. Which Monday I'll be doing a video. Monday it'll probably be evening time because I use my wife's phone because my phone eats up storage like it's nothing. So I'll be using my wife's phone, so it'll be evening. Probably after I get back from the gym. You know. So I'll be doing a Toy Talk talking about all the big toy news that came out last week. I'll try to talk about some of the toy news that came out this week, but I mainly want to talk about the stuff that came out last week. Especially the reveal of finally we're getting a Steiner Brothers 2-pack from Mattel. It took them almost a year to make any other Steiner stuff, so yeah. Wednesday, since I've talked about the show at nauseum on frickin' Facebook when I did my Facebook Lives and all that. But I am going to be talking about my thoughts on X-Men 97, what I thought of the show, how good it was, and all that stuff. And then Friday, I'm going to be doing a video talking about Shark Week, because Shark Week starts this Sunday. Also, the Batman Forever figures come out by McFarlane Toys, and if you don't know, well, I've seen other people put it, but yeah, McFarlane Toys made freaking Batman and Robin figures last year, and now they came out with Forever. I'm hoping either later this year or early next year we get Batman Returns, and then after that we get Batman 89. So yeah, I'll be talking about all that stuff. I'm going to talk about my thoughts, which I talked about at Comics and Games on Monday's video. The second video I did talking about when I was on my toy hunt, and I talked about the 2003 Super 7 Ninja Turtle figures and how I was a big fan of them. I will explain why I'm not a big fan of them on Monday. And then after next Friday, after the Shark Week video, from here on, here's what it's going to be. It's going to be some kind of topic, some kind of review or toy talk show or something on Monday. The main topic show will be Wednesday. And then starting the Friday after next will be Playthrough Friday. And I'm going to try something on YouTube that I've done on Facebook 2 times already. I did it last year and then I did it earlier this year on Facebook. But I'm going to be playing GTA 1, and you'll find out what I'll be doing on GTA 1. But, yeah, so that's my new schedule I got planned out for YouTube. I'm going to do Toy Talk Monday, or, like, talk about some other miscellaneous stuff on Mondays. Whatever, my main topic show will be Wednesdays, and then Playthrough Fridays will start. Now, I can't do them as long as I was doing on Facebook Live, but I could do at least 20 to 30 minutes of a video every Friday of a playthrough, as long as it's not longer than an hour, I guess, you know. But, yeah. That's all I got planned for my return to YouTube. I'm restructuring my schedule, and, you know, that'll be what's coming up all next week. Then you'll find out what's coming up the week after. Probably every Friday video is where I'll announce all the stuff I'm doing the week after that week. So that's probably what I'll do. Every Friday video I'll explain what I'm doing during the Playthrough Friday video. So, yeah. That'll do it. Let me know what you guys think about Who Killed WCW. I thought the documentary was pretty good. It's not biased like any documentaries WWE put out about them. I thought it was pretty good. It gave us some information, and gave us information we knew. It gave us information we didn't know. And, you know, it gave us reasonings behind why these people did what they did. But anyway, that'll do for this one. Please like this video, subscribe for more. Follow my Facebook fan page. Follow my my Trigen and my Facebook fan page, because the Trigen is my business page for my toy business that I've been trying to do since 2018. Also, let me know, who do you think really killed WCW? Let me know in the comments down below. And like this video, subscribe for more, and I'll catch you guys next week. And I gotta get up to turn off this video. Alright. Peace out.